One murder every 30.5 minutes. One robbery every 1.7 minutes. One assault every 21.7 minutes. And over 85,000 active missing people. Crime happens anywhere and anytime. Thousands of unsolved cases causing time to stand still for its victims. The crime clock is ticking. The alarm has sounded. It's time for Crime Time.
Welcome to Crime Time, everyone. This is our first show, and we are so excited. How are you guys feeling?
Great. How about yourself?
In the studio with me is Sarah Block and Stacy Smith. We've been working on bringing you a great podcast and also brainstorming with ideas to bring you something different. Stacy will be talking about a series where she talks to prisoners at the Gatesville jail in Texas. We'll hear from people serving time for crimes like kidnapping and murder. And Sarah will bring you the most talked about crime stories making the headlines in media and social media. And I'll be bringing you stories about missing people. So before we start the show, I want to remind everyone to go to our Facebook page, Crime Time Talk, right now, because you can see photos and videos of who we are talking about. The way you can follow along, you'll be able to look at them, and when we talk about a certain town or a direction we went, you'll be able to understand what's going on. It makes you more familiar with the case. Sarah's going to start the show, and who are you talking about today?
There's a missing person out of New Orleans, Louisiana, named Jessica Easterly Durning. She was last seen at her home on Wednesday, August 15th. However, her best friend last talked to her Monday, August 12th. And when the best friend was notified by Jessica on Monday night, August 12th, Jessica was exhausted. She was begging her friend to come and get her. She was afraid. She wouldn't give her best friend the details, but said that she would tell her best friend everything when she got there. Jessica and her best friend had a plan to meet the morning of August 13th. However, the best friend never got a confirmation call from Jessica to confirm this. The next time the best friend has any kind of communications was through Jessica's Facebook Messenger, where this time it wasn't Jessica, but it was her husband, and he messaged to the best friend that Jessica was missing, that she left her wallet with money, phone, keys, and her car behind. And the best friend responds to the husband saying, well, Jessica's not with me. And she said, I'm going to call police so they can come to the house and do a welfare check. According to a social media post, the best friend, who's been very open on social media out of concern for her friend. In fact, she has some posts referencing feeling guilty that she didn't just drop everything and go right then and there. Some other people commented that the best friend did not live local. And they wondered, well, why didn't Jessica reach out to a local friend? Was there a purpose for maybe wanting to cross state lines if she was trying to get away from a situation? Mm-hmm. So when the best friend let the husband know that she was going to call New Orleans Police Department, there was a comment that the idea was not met with enthusiasm. And thus the friend is bringing it to y'all, she says. Please help me find my friend. That post was on Saturday, August 17th, or at least it was updated on August 17th. Mm-hmm. And that's when the best friend said, today is Jessica's birthday. So Jessica's birthday came and went with no sound of Jessica being heard from. The husband's story regarding when Jessica was last seen at their home was that he woke up later that day on Wednesday, August 14th at about 3 p.m. and discovered that Jessica was not at the home and that she has not been seen or heard from since. Another little detail in this story is if you look up the screen name at YR favorite, VICE, at your favorite vice, there's a Vivian and Lance presence where back in May, there was a post that said, it's sin day. What's your favorite sin? And there's like a reference to a website called chatterbait.com/Vivian X Lance. So VIVIANNE XLANCE. So that Twitter page that showed them joining back in November 2018, and there's a picture of them as a couple. One of the details on Jessica's flyer shows her as being blonde-haired, blue-eyed, 5'4", between 110 and 120 pounds. However, on some of her pictures, you see her looking like she has brown hair. So maybe she's blonde, but maybe colors her hair brown. So this missing persons case has now hit 2 weeks, and there doesn't seem to be any new updates from family or friends. No new details. There just seems to be that twist of some association with filming in the adult world as a couple on websites. So that's one unique twist about a different life than maybe the average suburban, going to work, kids in school, pet dog. There seems to be a little bit of a secret adult life in this couple's world that has people wondering if that relates to her disappearance.
Oh. Was there an MP report made? Do we know that?
Yes, there was. And it's interesting how when I read the articles, it says the reporting person, which is so interesting to me that they don't reference, well, who was the reporting person? But one clue in the next part of the sentence, the reporting person said that he, so they're giving a comment to a gender. So it's interesting, this mystery reporting person we know is a he. Naturally, my mind goes to what must be Mr. Durning, Mr. Justin Durning, the husband. It looks like they've been married since early 2015. So they've been married over 4 years, probably been in a relationship more than 5. I don't know that they share children together, but there does seem to be a child from perhaps prior relationships or more than one children in their lives between their past relationships. There was a missing persons report made, but one of the interesting details when you pay attention to the social media buzz is that the best friend is doing all she can to call the police department every day. Just keeping the case out there, trying to have people share her flyer, wondering what happened to her friend, expressing, wow, I don't know what she was going through, but what if things would be different if I had just showed up that night? My concerns are if somebody was trying to get out of a bad situation or something that they were scared of, if you have somebody else paying attention to your whereabouts or your desires to leave, that's not a very good thing to have somebody see you pack a bag, whether you do it openly or secretly. If somebody's not happy about you leaving, that kind of bothers me.
Did the best friend, has she talked to the police and tell them the story that you just told?
That's where I'm following that she's been all up into handling it through knowing anything she has, telling law enforcement, and that she's taken to social media as well.
All right, that's interesting.
I don't see much coming out from the husband. I gathered from posts that people see him still Twitter on his business like it's business as usual, but I haven't seen anything that, I'm not local to New Orleans, but I haven't seen anything that shows a big push from her home.
That's funny. I wonder if they...
About where is she?
So the boyfriend, husband / husband, he hasn't...
One of the things...
Yeah, go ahead, Stacey.
I was just joining in here on... One of the things I was wondering, Sarah, you mentioned that people had questioned or possibly like why they were questioned why she called this friend and didn't actually, call for someone that was maybe closer. But I don't know, just in my experience, my own personal experience, there's that one friend you can call that is kind of, and it sounds like this is that friend, because this best friend, she's calling the police every day. She's on social media. She's doing everything she can. And so that's probably why this girl reached out to that friend, because she knew she cared. She, maybe they're besties or whatever. But, I have that one friend that if I'm ever, it doesn't matter what's going on, whether I'm, felt like I was in danger, or if one friend that I could, and she's been my friend since I was in the 8th grade, and I could call her and I know she's coming for me, and so she's not going to leave until she finds me. And so I don't find that odd. And especially, and again, what you said about the bag,
I just expressed concerns that if somebody calls their bestie on Monday night with, I'm exhausted, I'm scared, I got to get out, I'll tell you things when I see you tomorrow. My thoughts are, would she openly be packing a bag to prepare for leaving the next day, or would she try to secretly pack a bag? We don't know what she was scared and exhausted from. Mm-hmm. So if she was trying to have her friend pick her up for whatever reason,
okay.
I just wonder, could somebody be paying attention to her having an exit getaway plan?
Mm-hmm. And she's never been like that before. She never called a friend seeking help before, huh?
That's what I thought you meant.
One of the last updates by the best friend regarding Jessica's case is, I don't have an update for y'all. Thank you to everyone who has shared this post and reached out to support myself and her family and friends. As soon as we have answers, I promise I will update y'all. Please try to be respectful to everyone involved and let them have room to deal with this situation in their own way. And she does affectionately refer to her friend as Jess.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's help her find Jess.
Good. Well, you can keep us updated on that one. I've got a missing person this week. She's been missing since July 16th. But there's some interesting stuff that's coming up with this case. Her name is Heather Waters Gamina, and I hope I'm saying that right. She's 33. She's missing from Pleasant Valley, California, which is just right outside of Sacramento. She went missing shortly after she broke her collarbone on July 16, 2019. Her 2006 Infiniti G35 was found, but the authorities are not saying too much about where it was found, which is kind of weird. Usually they'll say something, but there hasn't been much info, and actually the family's not saying too much about where it was found too, so I'm sure they were told to keep it quiet. And why? I don't know at this point in time. But what is really interesting about this case is when I went back and did research on it, I noticed that on June 5th, Heather had posted on social media that someone had broken the windows on her car. She also posted pictures, and the pictures are with the backside window was busted and 3 cracks in her front windshield. If you go to the Crime Time Podcast Facebook page, you'll see those pictures so you can look at them and see what I'm talking about. It looked like someone had taken a bat to it. I mean, the front of it was 3 individual hits on the windshield, 1 right over the driver's side, 2 over on the side, and someone had cracked it. And like I said, it looks to me, I don't think somebody picked up a rock and threw it. I suppose they could have just threw rocks at it, but almost to me it appeared as though maybe it was a baseball bat that had hit the car. So when she was talking about what had happened, showing the pictures, one thing I noticed that Heather she seemed angry about it, but she didn't seem scared at all to me. And it was just quickly, within a week, she had the car fixed and repaired. The windows were fine again. And everything was back to normal. And I start to wonder if maybe that incident had something to do with her disappearance. Maybe somebody was after her. Maybe somebody was stalking her. It just seems kind of strange that just a month earlier, someone went and crashed and messed up her car for no apparent reason. And then now she's gone. Nobody knows where she's at. So anyway, if you have any information about Heather, please call the El Dorado County Sheriff's Department. As always, just go to the Missing Persons of America Facebook page. You'll see photos of Heather, see photos of the car and how it was messed up, and information and the number to call to see if you see her, so we can find her wherever she might be. And now we are going to go over to Stacy and the case she's been working on, Rodney Reed. I'm going to do a little intro on this one because a lot of you may not know about it. And as I'm talking about it, it might actually remind you do know about this case. And when I found out about it, I was doing a little bit of research, and it was just, Stacy, you've got to agree with me. Digging into this, there is so much going on with this. So it's Rodney Reed, he's
of a case.
Oh my gosh, we're going to spend most of the rest of this podcast talking about it, and they're probably going to do another show on it because it's just so involved. And this is another case that you want to go to our Facebook page and look at the photos that I put up there under the Rodney Reed case, and you'll see where we went. We'll see some videos. You're going to see pictures of Rodney and the people involved in the case. Stacy Stites was living with her fiance Jimmy Fennell, who was a Giddings police officer. Stacy left one morning to go to work at the H-E-B, which is a grocery store here in Texas. She worked at Bastrop, Texas, which is about